So pretty much everywhere in Florida, kind of reporting back with the same type of damage and flooding and all of that, including former pro golfer Greg Norman, who rode out this hurricane at his home in Jupiter, Florida. Greg Norman on the phone with us right now. Greg, good to have you. What kind of damage did you have to deal with?
Well, Neil, thank you very much for having us on. For me, not much, no structural damage. My beach house got a little bit of sandblasting from 16 hours of Cat 2 gust winds coming up the beach from the southeast, but a lot of landscape damage, obviously. Some of our big royal palms that are 70-plus years old in the backyard, lost one of those. But quite honestly, minimal stuff in the whole context of what we just went through.
Yeah, what's amazing is that a lot of folks opted to stay in those homes. I don't know whether there was a voluntary evacuation where you are, Greg, but we heard a lot of other people, you know, say, I can't leave. It's a nightmare on the roads. Half the stations are out of gas. I can't even think about it. Why did you stick around where you were?
Well, ever since I moved onto Jupiter Island, I've stayed in every hurricane, basically, from Ivan to Francis to Gene. Mainly, Neil, because I've caught one or two unsavory types coming on trying to loot stuff either off my boat. I don't have my boats here now, but I caught an individual trying to ransack my boat, taking radios and everything off. And it really is for that. Jupiter Island police here are phenomenal. But, you know, when we go into lockdown mode, they just put security on the north end of the island, south end of the island bridge. But, you know, the people who want to be bad, they come in off the intercoastal waterway, and it's very easy to come in over nighttime when the place is dead. You know, nobody's here basically, and that's the reason why I stay. You know, we're very, very lucky to live on a barrier island, but at the same time, we're vulnerable to what Mother Nature can dish out to us, and you know, what the unsavory individuals are thinking of doing.
And that's what a lot of people who did abandon their homes, sometimes for personal safety reasons, you can understand that, get leery when they see these lootings. And we were showing video earlier, Greg, of what was going on in some parts like Fort Lauderdale. And they want to rush back to their homes because they get concerned. Now, it's rare, I want to emphasize that, but it happens enough. What did your neighbors do? What did others in the community do?
Well, I know the neighbors to my north. I checked on their property at first daylight this morning. I'll give them a report. They weren't here. Neighbors to the south, they weren't here as well. I think there are a few people left on Jupiter Island. I know the chief of police, Bob Garlow, he stayed on the island ever since the lockdown mode. And I couldn't tell you how many was here, but I normally get out early and drive around, and the roads were getting chainsawed very, very early this morning by the officials and cleared up so they could eventually open it, which the island did open a few hours ago.
Now, you know, a lot of people were looking at what happened in Florida, and as bad as it looks, Greg, and this seems incredible to me, they feared it might have been worse, and that was one of the reasons why the market was up. Insurance stocks were up. A lot of Florida-related stocks were up, that it could have been worse. It still looks pretty bad. I don't know if you've had a chance to go out and look around beyond Jupiter, but I mean, it looks like you had quite a beating.
Oh, yes, I think we got a beating. We were in the northeastern quadrant of the hurricane, and any time you're on the northeastern quadrant, it's pretty bad. So I know we got a beating because we had 16 hours of nonstop winds. Actually, Neil, I've never heard this before, but last night around about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, we had a storm cell, supercell, come on just south of Jupiter Island, 90 mile an hour. It was coming on shore. I've never heard of anything like that. You know, it spawned a lot of tornadoes, of course, but I know we got hammered around here because it was just that nonstop, relentless battering for 16-plus hours.
All right. I'm glad you're well. I'm glad everyone is well here. It could have been, as you said, even worse. Greg Norman, thank you very much. Good catching up with you.
Thanks, Neil.